And welcome back. So Wicked for Good. I came out of this movie last night, came out of the theater review. But now obviously you get the full review. So to expand on my thoughts from last night, let me give my general take. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I will say though that I think the first movie is the better movie of the two, and a lot of people, from what I understand, do feel that way about the stage play as well. That this first half is the much better part of the play. Not that the second part of the play is bad. It's just it's bad. They feel it's better, and this I think checks out with the movie too, because the tonally they are different movies. I'm gonna adjust this real quick. Tonally they are different movies. At least for at least for the second half of the second one. See, I think, like I said it out of the beginning, out of the theater last night, but um, it's it's a movie that in the first third, I want to say, actually that's about right, the right amount. I've heard some people say the first third is not a good movie. I'm like, no, the first third's fine, but the first third is more trying to be the first movie than what the second movie's actual tone is. It is trying to match a bit more of the whimsical light that the first one had than the more mature tone this one has. And that's not to say there aren't good things within this movie, or within the first third. There are good things. And that's what I mean when I said I don't think it's actually a bad first act. I think it's just not totally gelling with the next two parts of the movie. I mean, there's good songs still in there. Wonderful, which is done by the Wizard Elphaba and Glinda. It's actually a very fun song. I do enjoy that song quite a bit. There also is some rehashes of the original songs, like "Defying Gravity" is somewhat in there. "Popular" is definitely somewhat in there. Uh, "No Place Like Home" isn't bad. I wasn't a big fan of the "Thank Goodness Can Be Happier" song, to be honest. That one I thought, and the "Wicked Witch of the East" song. I'm like, why were we doing this one? Okay, but honestly, that I mean, the reprise of "That Girl." Well, again, "Wonderful's" good, and then later on we get because they had to put a lot of songs in here because the second part actually has less songs. So a lot of these I think are probably, well, some of these are just rehashes, like "Not That Girl." But some of these I think are made just for the movie. I don't know which ones. But you're As long as your mind is a nice song. Honestly, though, for good, not for good. Sorry. The Girl in the Bubble is actually a good song. The Girl in the Bubble. The song is. I actually wasn't paying as much attention to the song as I was as I was the camera work in that whole sequence. The camera work was going nuts because he was doing that forced perspective thing where you see her, she goes to a mirror, and then it moves, and she's right there again. It's now you're like you inverse the shot. And doing that just once is an impressive thing to do. They do it like 4 or 5 times in the entire song. I'm like, damn, this is a really good sequence. I'm barely paying attention to the music. But then you have the "No Good Deed," which is more or less your Defying Gravity of the movie. That's kind of your real big song. You do get the "For Good" song at the end with Elphaba and Glinda. Was it this? You hear it in the trailer. It was like a comet in orbit or something like that. Do 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 do. So I mean, the songs are a little bit more hit and miss. Like in the first film, admittedly, the songs have existed for a little while. I could hum almost all the songs coming out of the first film, minimum. This one, I can remember a couple of the songs, and they're good songs for what it is, but some of them just aren't as memorable. If I'm going to get into another complaint, and honestly, this is not a complaint really against the movie. This is just a complaint for me watching it because I know what I'm about to complain about is the whole crux of the movie. A whole point of this two-part movie is that we do see more of, say, like Elphaba's sister and was it Brahm is the name of the character who becomes the Tin Man. Um, what's his name again? not Burr, Burr the Cowardly Lion. My God. Um, Adam Morwell. Where is the guy? The name of the guy who plays the Tin Man. Is it Bach? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's Bach. Boq. Um. Okay, and I know this is from taking the stage play, so this would have probably pissed me off even in the stage play. I get the idea of the movie is to show who the wicked people actually are. I'm just gonna get my webcam a little bit there we go. Is that a little? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Again, by the way, it looks probably as potato cammy as it is because again, this damn color. I really gotta remember not to always do this in front of the screen. Like going upstairs is honestly a better option. That's a little clearer now. I get the idea of the movie and the play is to show that the people who think they're good are wicked, and the people who are perceived as wicked are good, and the people in between who maybe start out not as great and then grow from that, like Glinda, Fiyero, all that. But man, there are levels of this that even as an audience goer, I have trouble handling. Particularly Elphaba's sister. Like, I get where it comes from, but then she just, again, if you haven't seen the play, read the book, or seen the movie yet, I'm not going to go too much into details. But the level of unlikable I have for this character, because I didn't hate the character. She had a few moments of just in the first movie of just being, being dad's special daughter, whatever, and occasionally back talking Elphaba, but you could tell she still loved her sister. She still cared about her sister despite how their father treated her. And obviously she had a bit of a bum deal because she was stuck in a wheelchair all her life. This movie makes her completely unlikable. Like, just, like, and I'm not just unlikable in terms of her actions, her expectations after her actions. And then, like, it's just, it's just one of those, like, insert yourself in a moment of film, rip into this spoiled little kid's ass. Not even spoiled, just entitled little kid's ass. And then you get Bach, who, my God, get over it. Like, I'm not gonna. I can spoil this because this was part of his character. He was in love with Glinda, and we can tell kind of near the end of the first movie that he still loves Glinda. Well, that still carries over to this movie. He says something in this movie. Because Glinda okay, you know what? I can actually say that. I can spoil this part. You see it, that Glinda's going to get married in the movie. And he sees this, and he basically says, I need to go plead my heart to Glinda because I found out she's getting married. Dude, it has been years. She's with another man. She didn't love you. Get over it. Like, oh my God. This is painful. This is absolutely painful. Look, if I hypothetically was in the relationship I'm in now, but also secretly loved someone else, I frankly would just try to make my relationship work and move on past that. Like, if I found out that person's getting married, I might feel like, oh, well, that's good for them. Good for them. At least they're going to be happy. Because that's what actual love is. Not this bullshit infatuation crap. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Again, I need to reiterate, I am completely 100% aware that is the point of the movie. The bad actions of these so-called good people are kind of a point of the movie. But there's stupidity, and there's stupidity, man. There's pathetic, because all it does is make him seem pathetic. It really, really does. Well, to be fair, Nessa also looks pathetic in comparison too. But all it does is make them both look completely pathetic as people. It really does. And they were people I enjoyed more or less in the first movie. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, that was hurting me a bit. But beyond that, the song sequences themselves, even the ones that I don't remember as well, I do remember them still being well done song sequences. Cynthia Erivo's killing it as always. Glinda, it's a little bit more. I heard this said, and it's true. It is a little bit more Ariana's film than it is Cynthia's film. I mean, they're both pivotal characters. They're both getting, I think, roughly equal screen time. I think, though, if I were to guess, I'd say actually Glinda probably has a little bit more screen time. But I mean, their stories are still entwined. We are still following both of them, but it is more Glinda's growth story than Elphaba's growth story in this second part. But they still have many great scenes. Like I said outside my out of theater review, the woman like 2 seats over to me was sobbing in her seat, particularly near the end. And look, I do remember getting emotional in the first movie. I didn't cry or I wasn't. I mean, it's harder for me to. When my mother passed, it was a lot easier for me to cry at movies for the first few years. As time has passed, I've gotten back into it's harder for me to cry at movies. I remember getting emotional though at that scene at the party in the first movie. Like that was an emotional scene, absolutely, and well worth it. Me personally, I didn't get those same feelings here, but I could still feel the emotion. I could still feel the weight of it. It was not like I'm dead emotionally. It's just like I wasn't sobbing, but I could understand why someone would be. It was very well done. I will say though, because Dorothy is kind of in this movie, but not really. In fact, we don't actually see Dorothy in this movie. That's what very that's I think supposed to be on purpose too. That we don't actually see her in the movie. But I have to point out in this film, there's a scene where Elphaba shouts at her to take off the shoes, like in the original. Get those shoes off. But then Glinda comes in, and they have this moment of Elphaba realizing, oh no, I'm screwing. Okay, let's have our song. It's all gonna end here. All right, whatever. And all I'm thinking about in that scene is Dorothy. You realize Dorothy's still locked in a basement, right? You realize Dorothy is, or is she just listening and say, oh, she's not that bad after all, but I still have to melt her. I don't know. I don't know the logic on that scene. But yeah, they've, as I said outside in the theater too, they definitely lean into the more mature aspects of the story, from the animal rights part of the story to the racism, honestly. And honestly, there are points where it feels Gestapo-ish, like straight out. It's like, do you have your peppers? You cannot get on the train without your peppers. Like, kind of. There was a scene very much like that. Yeah, and it gets dark at points, but there is still uplifting moments. There's scenes, particularly scenes with like Elphaba and Fiyero. I really like those scenes, very much so. Actually, I heard someone go like, I heard some people cheer at the end of a particular scene, like yeah, like oh, wow, good for you. But yeah, sorry, I couldn't help but laugh at that. And again, any scene with Cynthia and Ariana is just gold. It's just gold. It really is just beautiful. Jeff Goldblum's still delightful as the wizard, as always. Adam Warble, you really hate more in this movie, which I think you're supposed to. I mean, and honestly, I had no problem hating her character is the thing. Because again, I truly believe you are supposed to hate her character. And obviously the tie-ins to the actual Wizard of Oz story. I'll also say this about, if there's one other character I maybe didn't love, the Cowardly Lion, who you do see in the trailer, and does have some speaking lines. I get he's the Cowardly Lion, but man, they actually don't even paint the Cowardly Lion in a very good light. They don't paint the Tin Man in a good light. They don't paint the Cowardly Lion. The only one who gets painted in a good light is the Scarecrow for a particular reason. Not going to spoil it if you haven't seen anything. Excuse me. They don't paint Nessa in a good light. Like, they don't paint half the... like, my God. So, is it, like, there's some complaints I have about the movie, for sure. But overall, I still enjoyed it. It still ends in a good spot. A very nice, actually, uplifting spot in many ways. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you saw the first one, like the first one, you still probably like this one. It isn't quite as strong as the first one, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie at all. It currently holds like a 70% from the critics. But you know what? Honestly, I can see maybe that's 70 might be a little low, but I can still see it just due to the fact that its tone is a little off. It's like one half is one movie, one half's another movie. So I can still buy it being a little higher than 70, but 70 is not a bad number, especially since the audiences are overwhelmingly loving it. It's at 97%, which that's where your money comes from. It's the audience, not the critics. The critics can influence that number a little bit, but that's not where the money comes from. So yeah, overall, overall, I really enjoyed the film. I did. I don't think we'll see a third movie. I doubt it. But I don't know. I'm on Wikipedia right now. Maybe they will have talks for like a sequel. Let's see. Probably not. If I'm going to be way in my future. In November 2024, stated they would discuss the possibility of something more associated with the Wicked franchise, but it would not necessarily be a Wicked Part 3 or 4, since the film's release. The adaptation overall, the process of evolving a media frame with a theme park attractions, film quality. Currently, we're okay. So maybe we could get maybe not a Wicked 3, or though who knows, but maybe like a continuation with Glinda. Maybe like a continuation if you were to somehow figure out a way to adapt the other Oz books into a Wicked style movie. Did he ever try because I don't know who's the author of the original book. Did he ever hold on? Good for Wicked for second installment of the Wicked Years. See Son of a Witch for the second installment in the Wicked Years. Hold on, is there more? Dark fantasy writer. It's this novel. Okay, because that's right. The Wicked book is the Wicked book is one book. So there is actually in fact a sequel to Wicked called Son of a Witch. And it follows, spoilers, I'm not going to say too much, but the book's been out since 1995, so actually 2005. It follows Lear, the son of Elphaba Throp, over a decade-long period following something that happens. Okay. It's following. Okay, I was about to say it's. I don't think that's actually what happens. Okay, interesting. So anyway, so yeah, that's interesting to say the least. But until then, maybe we'll get Son of a Witch. Maybe we won't. But if they end it here, it's a good spot to end it. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you folks for the next one. Later.